Sunday here at the Pomacea Presbyterian Church in the Fellowship Hall. We've been rejoicing all morning long in the generosity with which God has blessed this congregation, this community, and the world. One of the things that I've shared in worship is the shofar made from a sheep's horn. We used a shofar to call all the animals onto the ark. And I'm going to try and blow it here now. Now, I'm a little rusty on this. I haven't blown it in about 2,600 years. So you might see a cobweb come out the end or two, but let's see. That was what I used to summon all the animals with. And today it's what we're summoning you to come see the art show. The art that's in the show today has been contributed by members of the community in response to our appeal that they help us by interpreting not only the story of Noah's Ark, but also what the church means to them. We're starting here at the commitment table, and you see a piece of art that's blessed us all in this season. It's the beautiful picture of the ark coming out of a storm towards a rainbow that Nash McCutcheon drew for us. It's been our inspiration in this season, and if you haven't yet, by the time this video is over, I hope that you'll be inspired to turn in a commitment card. You can do that online, you can email it to the church, or you can take one of the cards that we have available at the church and sending to homes and drop it off here at the church. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you for your generosity. Let's look at the creativity of others now. One of the things that we've been blessed with in this season is the artwork of the children of the church. Here you see several rainbow banners placed together by the children of PCPC. This story appeals to children because they can see God's faithfulness in it, and then they can see the rainbow themselves, and it's a way in which the Bible story comes to life for them as they live across the day. Now, we'll walk across the room to a beautiful painting, and this particular painting is offered here by Mary Peed Stafford. Mary Peed grew up in this church, and I was blessed to be able to conduct her wedding ceremony. She's the daughter of Patricia and David Peed, and a fine artist. And this is helping to show the beauty of God's creation as well. What a lovely picture. And then here's a picture that brings out some of the joy that the scriptures call us to by Angeli Hartzell, who contributed several offerings to our show. That smile reflects the joy that we've been feeling all day today. This is a very moving picture here to me because I didn't expect it. But this comes from my friend, Jeff Hill, a member of our church who died now about 3 weeks ago. And the picture was submitted by his wife, Charlene. People might forget that in addition to all of his craftsman skills, Jeff also started out as a very capable artist. And his artwork has continued to inspire, and it's here today. And here, I think in this picture, he speaks to some of the dawning of creation, the sun that warms the earth after the rain. Rainbows are a common theme that children return to, so we thank Knox, who shared this picture here, Knox Killingsworth, of a rainbow, and also this lovely piece of art by a child whose name isn't shared with us, but they're going for the rainbow theme as well. Mary Beth Hunt has contributed this beautiful picture of a tree by a stream. And she remembers the verses from Jeremiah, the 17th chapter, that speak of the blessing of the one whose roots grow near the waters of the Lord. It's a beautiful picture of what the life and faith lived like is like. And here's a picture that's shared also by Angeli Hartzell, the heart that's made out of a rainbow. And her inscription, God is always with us, no matter what. Amen, Angeli. Now, Claire LeBlanc has gone to a little different medium, colored squares pasted together that picks up part of the beauty of creation. And then in a medium still different, Paul Clark has submitted this ark that he made out of wood. Isn't it lovely? And the animals are carved such that children are able to play with them. And Paul writes that at times he's been interested in seeing how children care for the creatures by putting Band-Aids on them when they imagine that one is hurt. This is a great reconstruction of Noah's Ark. It picks up some of the size of it. Here we have another beautiful picture contributed by Abram Figler, and it's bright. It's bright like the gift of God's creation. Thank you, Abram. And above that is one committed by Emma Bartos. It's full of color, and I see the rainbow in it, the rainbow of promise coming out of the rain. Here we have the colored square medium again, and this is shared by Susan LeBlanc, and it's beautiful. And in the midst of it, we see the heart of God's love. And Angeli has offered a rainbow here. It's beautiful, and it moves from a dark green to a brilliant peak at the end. Angeli Hartzell. This is a lovely painting, also by Mary Beth Hunt. It's a beautiful picture of a lighthouse. We remember how Jesus said, "I am the light of the world." Thank you, Mary Beth. The art spans generations. And here's another picture by Angeli Hartzell. And this, she's picturing something of what the church means to her. The church is thankfulness, she says about this picture, a Thanksgiving image. Now up on the wall, I'm pointing at it with my ram's horn, is a banner made by the children of PCPC, cutouts of different animals that they put on the path to the ark. We're very grateful to Taylor Wellman, who met with the justice seekers, and they prepared 4 representations, not only of Noah's story, but of what the church means to them. In this particular one, I see God bringing order out of the chaos. Thank you. And here's another one of the pictures done by Taylor Wellman and the justice seekers together. And here we see some of the vibrancy of creation. We come to another banner, like the other, prepared by the PCPC children. The animals travel on the beams of the rainbow as if it's a kind of a bridge for them. And here's the third of the paintings done by Taylor Wellman and the justice seekers. I wish I'd been able to look in on them as they worked on them together. Taylor is a very gifted artist, and it was a great blessing that she worked with the children. And here is the fourth painting done by Taylor and the justice seekers. I'm very grateful for these contributions, and they speak to their participation in the life of the church. There's an art to flower creation and designing. And Caroline Hill has shared these flowers. She says about them, "The flowers appear on the earth after the time of singing has come, and the voice of the turtle dove is heard in the land." It's a quote from the Song of Solomon, the 2nd chapter. It speaks to the new life that comes after the storm. This lovely painting is by Fletcher Barnes, and you can see it looks very Florida-like, doesn't it? What does the church mean to me? The church is not necessarily a place. For me, the church is where God's goodness dwells, in the smiles of children, in the beauty of nature, in the exchange of love. Photography is one of the arts that folks have shared with us, and these are shared by Susan Payne Frost, who's also the receptionist here at the church. She has an eye for beauty here at the church. I have seen these views, but she's captured them well. Like Paul Clark, David Peed is a master woodworker, and he shared this handcrafted wooden turtle. He says about it, "God's creative work can always be observed in nature. His handiwork is present everywhere for all to see." This is beautiful wood, and the shell, if you could feel it, feels like a turtle shell. I'm very grateful for this painting in the back, the painting of the birds. It's done by Courtney Rice, a member of the Stewardship Committee. It makes me think of God's creation around us. And this lovely photograph of a hymn page is shared by Erin McKinney. It comes from the time that she spent at the Taizé community in France. Erin says, "My entire experience at Taizé was transformative from a spiritual perspective. You could feel the presence of God and the Holy Spirit during these services. Taizé provides an opportunity to join in community prayer, song, silence, personal reflection, and sharing. I made friends at Taizé that continue to shape my faith to this day. To me, Taizé was church. From the beauty of song, we come to the beauty of fabric art. This lovely stole, this preaching stole, was made by Stephanie Salinas, and she shared it with us. The Reverend Salinas writes, "Faith is a fire that cleanses, a warmth that comforts." Oh, that's a beautiful stole. Certainly appropriate for Pentecost or ordination. Bob Coates is a gifted photographer, and often here at the church, he shared with us many beautiful pictures. This picture represents our opening and welcome church, Bob says. A lovely shot of the church at night. These plants in the rainbow planter are shared by Sylvia Campbell. Love's promise grows. New life comes out of the rainbow turned upside down. And some more photographs. Judy and Tony Moore shared a picture of a day 14 years ago in 2007 when I baptized their two grandsons, James Paul and Davis Stauffer. What a great day that was, and I'm so glad they captured it in this photograph. Fletcher Barnes shares his art. These are pictures that he took in Africa as a part of a larger work that he's doing. Fletcher says, "What does the church mean to me? The church is not necessarily a place. For me, the church is where God's goodness dwells. It's in the smiles of children, in the beauty of nature, in the exchange of love." Nancy Creedon works often with paper arts. Here's a portrayal of Noah's Ark. It is made in Bangladesh. She shares it with us as something that's been meaningful to her. And this photograph by Fletcher Barnes certainly speaks of joy. What does the church mean to me? The church is not necessarily a place. For me, the church is where God's goodness dwells, in the smiles of children, in the beauty of nature, in the exchange of love. Boy, you could see love coming out of his face. Dr. Campbell shares a photograph that she took on Easter morning. It represents hope and God's bringing the creation to life again. These come from her walks along the bayshore, where with a team she cares for homeless people. Nancy Khalfi is one of the gifted artists in our congregation, and in 2010, at an arts camp as a part of our summer camp series, she created this picture. It speaks to elements of faith woven into the creation around us here in Florida. Thanks for taking the rapid tour of our art show today. I want to say thank you especially to all of the artists who contributed, children and adults alike. You've blessed us with your sharing and inspired us as well. And now may the God of Noah go forward before you with his promise that he is always with us. Let us look